Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about the simplicity and the most direct, powerful, simplest, most accurate manifesting technique, how it works, and how to do it. So the reason is because I think a lot of detail or a lot of time is spent finding nuances and details, and these nuances and details can soon turn into self-imposed limitations in thinking that we actually have to do something in the sense of force, or we have to discover some enlightened phase of our life in order to manifest what we want. But in effect, this is completely false. Our imagination, which is the operant power of God, that's a very important fact. Our imagination, which is the operant power of God, is the most natural thing that exists inside of us. And so I want to explain that. And so if you have not done so already, please hit the like button. It does something to the algorithm, which in effect helps others who would not be able to see this video to see this video. Share it as well. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so that if you would like to see more videos on systematic, data-driven approach of manifesting everything you want in a laser-targeted, systematic way, then this channel is for you. So let's just jump right into it then. I make the claim that your imagination is the operant power of God. In Scripture, that's called the potter, or Jesus Christ. Now, why do I say that? I'm not a religious person. I never have been, and I never will be. But the mold of that character in Scripture is exactly the character traits that you can find that you have by using basic usage of your imagination. So, disregarding any limitations, anything you have to do, anything you don't have to do, let's talk about what you can do to manifest whatever you want in the simplest, most effective, most powerful, most accurate, most predictable way. So the basic idea, before we do anything, we should know what we want. And generally, that comes by form of desire, which is a feeling inside of you that you need to have something, that you want to have something. Perhaps it's money. Perhaps it's money. Perhaps it's a relationship. Perhaps it's wealth or fame. Anything that you can possibly think of. You want to get out of debt. You want to be healthy. You want your friends and family to have more. This desire is what we are going to use and take and basically form it in a specific imaginal act, go through a specific system which is proven to get you exactly what you want in the fastest way possible. So manifesting is a miraculous thing. It has nothing to do with this physical carnal world. Our seeds planted, which manifest and refract in this screen of space, are dropped into eternity. And so to do that, to craft a seed which will grow into our end result, our desire fulfilled, knowing what we want is, I would say, more than half the battle. So you want money, or you want fame, or you want fortune, or you want riches, or you want friends and family, or popularity, or love. You start with knowing what you want, and then you craft it into such a way, there's this very specific way, a process that you take this through, a funnel that you take this through, to shape it and kind of shave it down, to put it into what you want, to craft it into an imaginal scene. So visualization is the technique that we're going to be talking about. It is the most straightforward way. It is the most simple way. It is something that we have been able to do since we were born. Our perception, our expectations, our beliefs, our memories, all of these are forms of imaginal acts or visualizations. It's something that no one ever had to teach us to do. We naturally make judgments and expectations. This is all use of the imagination. No one ever teaches you how to do this until perhaps, I don't know why anyone would ever want to teach you it in the first place, but it is the solution to manifesting. It is what is shaping and creating our world. We take our desire and we craft it into an end. So what is an end? So the best way to explain this is we take our desire and we craft it into the final scene of a movie. The final scene of a movie. So that means that, generally speaking, whatever we want, receiving that thing would be the climax of the movie. So the wealth or the fame or the fortune or whatever it is, I keep saying those things, but talking about those. So say you want to be powerful. Say you wanted to be worshipped by millions. Say you wanted a highly successful business. You wanted millions of dollars. What we would imagine is not necessarily receiving or in the process of receiving a check or getting the notice to say that you're going to be on stage in front of 1 million people, or you got the movie role, or that the person has asked you out on a date. We want to go to the end after that has been solidified. So generally, after the end of a movie, what will happen is the final scene, right before the final scene, the end result happens. And then after that, it will go a little bit after that end or substantially after that end to show what the results of having received that end will be. So in the case of being worshipped by millions or being on a movie screen or getting married, we want to go to a place where that is all solidified. So we take that scene and we start to craft it in that manner. So you say, what would I be doing after I had already been successful in what I want? What would I be doing after I had already gotten married? What would I be doing after I had received my vast amount of money? What would I be doing after I reached my epic levels of success? Now, for me, an example of this would be my business, right? My business. So I had, for long periods of time, for years, since I had been testing manifesting out, and even beforehand, I had always wanted a business. Nevertheless, I did not know the proper way to manifest, which is why, by the way, everything I teach is of my own personal experience. I do not parrot or recite anything that I do not know as experience in my own life. And the reason I say that is because for years, I had been trying different things to get a business rolling. And I've talked about this before in videos, but probably 10 or 20 failures on businesses, probably more like 20. I was always working towards it, not knowing specifically how to define what I wanted, not knowing specifically how to manifest what I wanted. Now, had I known there was a proper way to manifest, had I known that you could harness manifesting to work for you every single day, had I known that you can literally get whatever you want and the most powerful people in the world manifest, that would have been the angle I would have always searched for. But nevertheless, what it was brought to me, how it was brought to me was that it was an option, whereas God would have to fulfill it. Meaning, I was not in control. I did not have the choice to say what I wanted. I can only ask for it, but don't expect it. That was what I was taught. Nevertheless, all these failures in business came through, even when I started to learn how to manifest through what I was taught, was that I wasn't doing it the right way. I was imagining in third person point of view. I was not defining after the end. I was defining points in the middle. A lot of teachers, from what I came from Napoleon Hill standpoint, and he's got a great idea, which is definite chief aim. And then he says to go down and define every single way that you're going to go about creating this business. Now, for me, that was the angle that I took. But the problem is that Manifesting is best done only defining after the end, imagining it until it becomes a working part of the mind, and then letting it go, and then the world will begin to take that turn to give you what you want. I did not do this properly, and so time and time again, I would fail. This time, though, what happened was I specifically, first of all, I imagined that I would know what to imagine. I wrote down, I'm grateful I know what to imagine to have my successful business. And within a few weeks, I was given the answer by someone. Someone just completely, we were having a conversation, they completely changed what we were talking about, and said, you should imagine this, blah, 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 blah. Said what they said, and then they went back to talking about, they regressed, they went back to what they were talking about. Digressed. And so with that said, I did what they said, and it was imagining after the end, being on vacation with my laptop, staring out into the trees, nature, closing the laptop, saying to myself, I'm so grateful that I have that I'm only working X amount of this, and that I love what I do, and that I'm free, essentially. And within a week, everything had transpired. My YouTube channel, I was basically coerced into creating a YouTube channel by Lila from Nevolution, who I love. She's amazing. And the rest is history. But the interesting thing is all that effort that I put into all those other businesses in the past all come full circle and come here. And I use all of my different skills that I had learned over the years in this. And so the trick was to imagine actually after the end result. So we take what we want and we imagine after the end, but in first person point of view. So we define what we want. We define a scene which would imply that you already are that person. You have been that person and you're grateful that you are that person. And then you write down or imagine what you would see, taste, touch, smell, hear, feel, and be doing, or who you would be talking to. And you put that into a scene and you imagine in first person point of view, right? In first person point of view, which means naturally, humans are naturally always imagining in third person point of view. They're always looking at themselves. That's just the egocentric way that we're all brought up to be. But the thing is that everything that we bring into our awareness, we replicate outward. So, and it's whether we like it or not. So the truth is that all of our imaginal acts being in third person have been happening to all other people and ourselves. So what we're doing is we're deliberately taking the process of creation, using it to the best of our ability, imagining after the end of what we want, and then you watch after you make it a working part of your mind. So if we get into a state akin to sleep, which means nearing on sleep, which means we're almost asleep, where we can imagine and it's very easy to control and it's very clear. That is the state that I will get into if I really want something badly. It's the most effective, powerful way, because what we're dealing with is states of effectiveness of impressing the subconscious mind. So the reason that we plan this scene out in this way, the reason that we add all the details and vividness of reality, and the reason that we enter into it in first person point of view, and the reason we do this before bed, is because that's the most effective way to impress the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is that which drops the seed into eternity. It's the thing which the imagination, it connects the imagination to eternity or God. And together, it creates the manifestation, and then it's refracted out from eternity to time space. And refracting out from eternity to time space, we then will experience our manifestation. So we don't have to do anything except for properly imagine until we feel the satisfaction and the presence of the true experience. What do I mean by true experience? The goal is to emulate what we would actually experience had we actually received what we wanted. In my case, it was having a successful business. I imagined it in first person point of view. I still remember the scene now. So I imagined it enough until it was like a memory in my mind, until I felt a satisfactory feeling of being there. And once I did that, I dropped it. And after I dropped it, everything began to change. The world began to turn in a different way to prove to me or to return to me the thing that I'd imagined. So ask yourself real quick, what do you want? Now take away all the limitations and say, if I could snap my fingers now and everything in the middle would disappear and I would be teleported to having what I wanted, I would go to that dimension. What would I want? What would I be experiencing? What would I be saying? After the end, there's no limitations. So say there are limitations. Again, you snap your fingers and they're gone. What would you be doing? This is how you should be thinking. Never put a limitation on yourself. Never think that I have to manifest this so that I can manifest this. No, you don't have to manifest this so you can manifest this. You go to this only. You go to the end. You go to the end. Imagine in first person point of view. We naturally can't imagine. There's no one that can't imagine. If I could tell you to close your eyes right now and hold an apple with the letter J on it, when you open your eyes, do it actually right now I'll give you 2 seconds. Close your eyes, hold an apple in your hand. The J. Okay, maybe it was black. Maybe you couldn't see anything, but you can remember right now what you imagined. You can see that apple with the J on it. That's proof that you can imagine. You rarely need to go to greater lengths than that to get what you want. But the idea is if it is not your world, if it is something far out of reach to you, if you're living a complete and contrary world, then you may need to imagine more to make that a working part of your mind. But once you do that, once you can feel that satisfaction and you're not inundated with negative contrary thoughts, you will get that thing that you have imagined. You will, you must. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread, that have I given to you. That's scripture talking about wherever you go in imagination, you will go there in real life. That's a fact. All things are possible. So you simply, in imagination, experience the reality in first person of what you would experience if you were there. And watch how the world turns. Watch how God obligates himself to convince you of your imaginal act. So anyway, I hope you liked this. If you did, definitely subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you want more laser-targeted, data-driven, systematic methodology on how to get what you want. Subscribe and bell icon. And stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching.